Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and thanks for joining me for another video. This is Marquita from At Home with Quita, and here I share tips on how to plan a balanced life. So if you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys 15 ways to mix up planning if you're bored. If you get like me, from time to time, I do get bored as well, and things become mundane, and I just need something to freshen it up a little bit. So I'm going to share with you today 15 ways you can do that. So let's get into it. The first way that you can mix up planning when you're bored is to do a no sticker week spread. After all, we can still decorate our planners without using stickers. So some alternatives are obviously a pen to paper method, which is what you see me doing here. And sometimes that's all I do, and that is okay. You can still decorate it using bullet points and different elements by drawing them in as opposed to using stickers. You can also use washi tape. You can use highlighters. You can also add some color to your spread by using colorful pens and markers, and that all will make your planner stand out. It'll still make you want to use it if you're like me and you have to have something on the page that just sparks your interest in looking at your planner. But don't underestimate what you can do with just a black pen and writing in those plans and decorating your spread with just that. It's still powerful, it's still helpful, and it gives you just the switch up that you may need. Color coding is a great way to mix things up when you're bored. Lots of people do color coding. I too in the past have done color coding, and I do like to color code parts of my planning, especially when I need a change. So try color coding. So here are some tips for color code planning. So if you're planning by category, don't choose too many categories. I would recommend about 5 or so. Sometimes I do more than 5 categories, but especially when you're first starting out, I would say try to stick with maybe 5 or so categories. Also choose colors that are readily available in office supply stores. And if you want to mix things up even further by using a combination of pens, highlighters, but also sticky notes, take note that some sticky notes don't come in certain colors, as well as highlights and pens. You want to make sure that everything is interchangeable. So if you want to use red for a specific category, you may also want to use a pen and a highlighter and a sticky note together. And so some of those only come in certain colors. So just take note of that. Also, if you don't necessarily want to color code by category, you could also color code by day of the week and priority of importance. So there are different ways that you can color code. You don't necessarily have to do that by category. So if you want to switch things up and you need a new look, try color code planning and see if that is what you need in order to have that fresh feel that you're looking for and re-spark your interest in planning. The next tip is to try a completely different planning system. So you can do reminders on your phone app, which is what I do. In addition, sometimes to using a paper planner, you can try bullet journaling. If you like daily planning, there are lots of other planners out there on the market that may integrate with your paper planner that are digital planners. And also, sometimes you may only need a monthly calendar or a to-do list. So try switching it up and using a completely different planning system and see how that works for you. So the next tip is if you're currently planning on paper, try digital planning. So I recently got into digital planning because I was just so intrigued by it and wanted to try it out. So I went onto Etsy and purchased a template that I could use with my iPad. And so I am still working on seeing if this is something that I want to implement in my planning system, but at least try it. You may be more of a digital planner. And so when it comes to importing in the template, I use GoodNotes. I, again, purchased it on Etsy and then I imported it into GoodNotes and I use my Apple Pencil. And it's fun playing around with the different stickers and the different accents and things that you can add to digital planning. It's a little bit different from paper planning, so it does take some getting used to. But go on over to Etsy and browse around and see if you can find something that catches your eye, or you could create your own template. But try digital planning. Maybe you're just not a paper planner. and digital might be the way to go for you. Next up is to head on over to YouTube. There are so many Plan With Me videos out there, so much inspiration, so many creative people out on YouTube that you can gather some inspiration from. I also love watching planner reviews. So if you're bored with your planner, it may be time to buy a new one. So head on over to YouTube and catch some reviews on some different planning systems that may work better for you. Anything and everything from planner reviews to sticker hauls to pen reviews, DIY ideas to videos with time management tips. As you guys know, we do share a lot here on our YouTube channel, but there are so many others out there that have their own perspective and a planning system that works best for them, that they share tips and tricks on that you may be able to implement within your system that may work better for you. So I have a ton of stuff here, of course, so make sure to subscribe if you aren't subscribed already, and hopefully you get some inspiration here as well. Next tip is to use printables. You can find plenty of printables online these days, from Etsy to Shopify to just creating your own. That's an option as well. I also have printables in our shop, Fancy Plans Co., that you can download and print out and implement into your planning system. And one reason why I really love printables, especially if you're creating your own, is that you can print it once, implement it into your system, and if it doesn't work for you, you can tweak it and you can really make it your own. If you're buying them from other companies, you can download them as many times as you like, print them out as many times as you would like. That is one of the benefits of downloading printables. So if you need more, you can just print them. The next tip is to use sticky notes. So sticky notes allow more flexibility in planning. One of the reasons you may be bored with your planner is because you're having to rewrite a lot of the same routine tasks over and over again. And you can see how that could make you bored with planning. But with sticky notes, the beautiful thing about those is that you can write it once and you can move it from week to week. And there are so many options out there for sticky notes. It's no longer just your bland, boring colors. You have so many options. So check out Etsy, check out other shops, and Instagram has a ton of inspiration as well. And you can find the perfect sticky note for you and build up your sticky note collection so that you can use them within your planning system to help you even further. The next tip is to change your cover. So from leather covers, which is what I'm using here from Notique, to your snap-in covers, to frosted covers, to plastic covers, to laminated covers. There's so many different types of covers that you can easily remove from your planning system and add a new one to give you that feel you're looking. So if you like to change things out from seasons, you can change to a fall cover. We are in the fall season right now, so now would be the perfect opportunity if you're bored to just switch your cover out. That it's just so simple, but it's so amazing to be able to do that. Now, there are certain systems that this is going to work best for. Your disc-bound system is going to have a ton of options. If you're using an A5, you're going to have to stick with just a leather cover or a faux leather cover. If you're using a bound notebook, however, you're not going to be able to change your cover out. So take a note of that on the front end when choosing your planner, so that way you can be able to switch up that look on the fly if you're feeling bored or you just want a fresh feel. The next tip is to use washi tape. Now, it's become my latest obsession. I have a ton of variety of washi tape. I love them. I tend to stick with florals or neutral colors. I also love a good grid washi. So whether it's within the spread or using it on the weekly spread, washi is a great option. It's also a great time saver when you need to block something off or you have something that runs over multiple days. Just use a strip of washi tape instead, or add a washi border to your spine. The options are endless when it comes to using washi. So grab your favorite washi from Amazon or your favorite shop, implement it into your planner system. Your planner accessories are very important and a great way to mix things up. The next tip is to add accessories. Again, with this, there are so many options out there. You can pop in a paper clip, a magnetic paper clip or page marker on the side. You can add some journaling cards. You can add vellum. There are so many options when it comes to accessories. We do have a video on our channel with some of our favorite accessories. We also have a ton in our shop, but just do a little research on Pinterest and check out your favorite planners' Instagram to see what they're using to get some inspiration so that you can pop in some accessories, which is going to, of course, give you a fresh feel to your planner system, and it's going to just make it look more decorative and fun. And sometimes that is all you need to re-spark that interest in planning and mix it up a little bit. Pens and highlighters are a great way to mix things up as well. So as you may have picked up by now, I love pens and highlighters. I have a slight addiction to them. I have 2 huge storage containers of pens, from mild liners to different colored pens like Fixon pens to highlighters. I just have an addiction. I'm gonna own it, okay? And you too may as well. So start pulling those out and using those. And so that way, again, we're freshening things up and re-sparking the interest in you to want to use the planner. We're mixing things up. And sometimes all you need to do is just change your pen or highlighters. I frequently switch between pens based on how I feel. So right now I'm using 3 pens in my planner. I have a highlighter and 2 regular pens based on what type of line I want it to be. Do I want it to be more of a bold line or a thin line? So mix it up, switch your pen up, and maybe that may help you out to be able to feel more comfortable with that planning system. So some of my favorite pens are the Fixon pens. If you've never used them before, you will love them. They're erasable. So try those out. I do have those in my stash. I also love the Papermate Flare, which is what I'm using now, and then a pen from our shop, Fancy Plans Co. I also love a mild liner highlighter, as well as some other highlighters that I recently picked up from Amazon from Sharpie. They have new highlighters. So try some different pens and highlighters and see how that works for you. The next thing that you may want to try to mix it up a little bit is to try a different binding style. So I personally love disc-bound binding, but you also have ring-bound planners. You have hard-bound planners, which means that there's a little glue adhesive on the side and it's wrapped in like a leather cover or a paper cover of some sort. There are so many different binding styles out there, so try a different one if you find that your current one is not working for you. And some of the binding systems don't allow you to pull pages out, such as the coil bound system, unless you hack it. There are also some companies out there that do have kind of like a coil bound system that does allow you to pull pages out, like Filofax. So just do your research. If you're a coil person, that's okay. There are different coil options out there that you may want to try. If you're a disc bound person, you don't necessarily have to go with one type of planner like the Happy Planner. You can try different companies like Arc or Martha Stewart or Plum Paper. There's so many different companies out there that may suit you better. So don't feel like you have to be so loyal to one brand. There's so much stuff out there on the market that you are sure to find something that will mix it up and keep things fresh for you. So try changing your binding system to something different. Maybe try something that you've never used before and see if that mixes things up for you a little bit and gets you going in the right direction. The next tip is to change your planner layout. You guys know I'm a big advocate of this. I try different planner layouts based on how I feel. Right now I'm in the dashboard layout, but that could change next month and I could be trying the vertical layout, which I am. You guys saw in my last video that I'm trying out the vertical layout, which I don't believe you guys have seen me do in the past like 3 years. So I'm really excited about that. So if you're currently using a 2 pages per week spread, try using a 1 page per week spread. You can always insert some printables in there as well, like we mentioned earlier. So try to change your planner layout. Sometimes that's really all you need. And we have about 18 or so layouts in our shop. And so there is sure to be something there that you can find to be able to change your planner layout. We also have a sampler pack, which gives you 12 different layouts for the whole entire year. So that way you can try out different layouts and see what's going to work best for you. So don't be stuck to one layout. That may not be the layout for you. Try a different one and see if that really gets you going and helps you to plan even more effectively. The next tip is to change your planner altogether. Use different planners throughout the year. You don't need to use a different planner every week, but alternating between a few will keep things fresh. So don't feel like you have to stay tied to one specific planner for the whole entire year. Try different things out and see what's going to work best for you. And you can just be that type of person that's always going to be changing their planner like me. And so that's okay. That may be the type of person that you are, and that's what's going to keep it fresh for you. And that's what it's all about. And the last tip is to stop using a planner altogether. Maybe you don't need a planner at all. Maybe you just need a notepad where you jot down the things to get done each week, and that is okay. The key here is to make sure you're accomplishing all your goals, and some of you out there may not necessarily be the planner type, and that is okay. So if you find that you are just getting bored, you've tried all of the 14 previous methods that we've discussed in this video today, and you just don't feel like you can get your mojo, stop using the planner and pick up a notepad or a notebook and see if that works best for you. So that is it, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today on these 15 ways to mix up your planning if you're bored. Again, I too get bored all the time, and that's why the methods that I mentioned to you earlier are things that I'm constantly doing to make sure things stay fresh and I'm able to mix things up the way I need to, because planning is a must for me. I'm not the type of person that can stop using my planner, but if I do find that eventually these things do not work for me to mix it up and keep things fresh, then yes, I would stop using my planner. I don't see that happening, and I would just pick up a notebook or notepad. And even if it's just temporarily and you feel like right now in that season, in that moment in your life, planning is not working and you have to stop briefly, that's okay. Use something though, so that way you can keep track of all of your goals, ideas, and plans, and then pick that planner back up later and start using it again. So thank you guys so much for watching today. I really appreciate you stopping by my channel. Hopefully you got some inspiration. Let me know if you have any questions about anything I mentioned or what methods that you have found useful to mix up your planning if you've been bored in the past. We would love to hear from you. So thanks again for stopping by. Hopefully you'll consider subscribing to my channel if you're new here. You'll give me a thumbs up on this video if you enjoyed it, and you'll come back by and catch another one, in which case I'll see you then.